So it's been about 6 months since my most viewed video, and I think it's about time we revisit the subject of AI. What's new, what has changed, and what I think is going to benefit you, the producer. Now, if you haven't checked out that episode, please do, and then jolly back this way, as this is going to feature all new content. We really are in the industrial revolution of the internet's evolution. So strap in. So this video is going to be divided up into 3 categories. The first being the informative category. It's not going to necessarily create anything from scratch, but it is going to inform some of your decision making. The second category is going to be generative. These AI tools will feed off a stimuli you feed it. My final checkpoint is going to be the helpful category. These are going to be tools that I do think are worth parting cash with, and they're going to make good additions to your current device arsenal. Make sure you stick around to the end because some of these tools might even pay you. Let's dive into it. All right, let's get informative. First up, we have ChatGPT. I know we've spoken about it ad nauseum, but in my last episode, it was still kind of the early days of ChatGPT. We were all just throwing garbage on the AI fire and seeing what would explode. And after that boom of influencers told us how to make a quick buck, but didn't really back it up with any hard evidence, I did do a small piece of research myself, and I do think it's possible to earn with ChatGPT. But just don't go thinking that it's going to suddenly start sprouting you money trees. It will take a small piece of effort on your part. Check this out. As one example, I've been using ChatGPT to source the most popular and least popular non-exclusive music libraries. Through these searches, I can whittle down which might be the newest site or which has the least amount of members. When I found out SyncTank, 123RF, and Premium Beat were probably the least popular music hosting websites, I also then searched which genres had the least amount of music inside those sites. From here, you can decide to maybe make noise music over hip hop. If you think about this example, you make 10 tracks for BeatStars. It's almost all hip hop music. When you upload your track, you're just one very small drop in a huge pond 5 of beats. But if you were to create more experimental genres or nursery rhymes or noise as they suggested, even though that isn't searched as often, you can create way more tracks and be one of only a few names that is going to come up time and time again, therefore giving you a greater chance of making more money. Try to use ChatGPT in a way that it can give you statistics on what you're already good at and then work towards that niche, rather than asking the bot to make you a passive income. I think you're going to save yourself a lot of time. My next AI gift comes with Splice Stacks. You might have heard of this. I don't actually know how much AI is present here. It could just be a tarted up index page which allows you to scroll through Splice's samples, but either way, it might give you some source material to help you get unstuck when you're facing creative block. Let's roll on to the next AI tool. I'm kind of excited about this one, Spotify DJ. You can find it amongst your daily mixes in the made for you section and playlists. And I'll be honest, as of late, I've kind of lost myself for the past few months on what is my sound and what do I enjoy creating. And during a long 3-hour drive, I thought I would dive into Spotify DJ and see what all the fuss was about. I thought it was just going to be a curated playlist of all my liked songs, but I was wrong.
Hey Will, it's your personal DJ here. I've got some music similar to what you've been bumping this year, and I think you're going to be really stoked to discover it. If you don't dig it, just holler, and I'll throw you something that you do like.
First of all, you need to realize that this device has been listening to your every move and like since you signed up for Spotify. The Spotify DJ quickly reminded me of what I do and what I don't like.
Now, I know you're not a huge fan of country, but I did see a couple of Morgan Wallen tracks in there, and I want to show you some of his top songs that were voted in by listeners of the Spotify Pop List playlist.
It even got oddly specific at times and reminded me of some of the earliest material that I just couldn't switch off.
Hey, remember in your first year of high school when you got gum in your hair and you had to shave your head bald, and then your grandma knitted you a hat to keep your baldness hidden from your friends, but that hat fell off in the lunch hall and everyone started singing, Willie's got his hat on, his hat on, his hat on, Willie's got his hat on and he's coming out to play? And then you didn't leave your bedroom for days, and that's why your mom calls you the naked mole rat? Well, I've got the song that played most during that haunting period of time.
I got my red dress on.
All right, so it's not that specific, but it did reconnect me with some of the sounds I truly enjoy, and it brought to light some musicians that I was, for whatever reason, adamant I wouldn't like, but ended up liking some of their tunes. For me, it reinvigorated a color palette that I couldn't bring to my DAW. And so I started creating music based on those first loves and the sounds that got me into production. And that's why I've included it in this list, because I think it could be informative to your decision making moving forward. If you've been perusing my Twitch stream of late, twitch.tv/The Will Hatton, then you'll know that I've been having a great deal of fun with Sampler.io, and I've been using this on stream and off stream. With Sampler.io, basically it gives you hours of sample source material to build into track creation. It's great for finding oddly specific samples. You can just use their filter system. But remember, these tracks are definitely not cleared for copyright, so just move forward with hesitance. Bear that in mind. All right, so we're on to the generative category. Last episode, we spoke about Lalau AI, which I actually still use heavily, but I wanted to bring another tool to your attention that has the same name, but by no means is any affiliation. This is Lalau's voice. I've been having a blast with it.
And it's just a fun, silly time that sparks a
lot of creativity.
It was even on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Well, that's what's so silly, man. Jamie, see if you could pull up the lyrics to Mad City. What is this? Pyros and Crips. Doof, doof, doof. Brace yourself, I'll take you on a trip down memory lane. This is not a rap on how I'm slinging crack or new cocaine.
I mean, what you think we out here doing?
A major pain, not the drill sergeant, but the stress that's weighing on your brain. It was me, Elbert, and Yan Yan, YG Lucky, right down Rosecrans. I got ugly, waving your hand out the window, check yourself.
In all seriousness, this could be great when generating voiceovers for your shorts or your TikTok or Instagram reels.
So do bear it in mind for that creative output.
Just as a fun aside, did you see that Grimes thing? She's thrown her voice into this AI tool. When you visit the website, you can sign up as a collaborator of Grimes. So if that song gets used, I'm assuming you can share the revenue. This is a really cool take on generative AI and a way to make a little bit of money. I've got more kind of money-making AI tools on the way, so don't go anywhere. But I'd love to know your thoughts if you've had a little bit of fun with it. This was me on stream last week.
It's Grimes. I got some problems. Thought I'd end up with, but he wasn't Grimes. I got one.
John Luke's got the question that I've got. I don't even know what Grimes sounds like. So I've got two here that are awfully similar, Music LM and Music Gen. Fun to keep tabs on everything because it only takes one of these devices to level up just a little bit and it will be the new name on top. Just think Instagram, TikTok and Shorts, they're always in competition. But if you're just looking to generate chord ideas, might I push you in the direction of Muse Spark?
Steely Dan, generate.
And not a million miles away from music generation do we have Muse Tree. So as always, you have to start things off by suggesting some kind of genre from simple to complex. You choose root and then request more chords off of this. The interface kind of reminds me that of MIDI-ness. And even though this is a video about AI, I just don't like the clunkiness of this tool. I much prefer to use MIDI-ness, which you can download from Steam. It's not AI, but it does hook up really nicely to your VSTs. And I think it really does reward curious point and click composition. Next up, I've got the name Refusion, which might not be new to you, but I do feel like this could be a tool that would help us work with collaborators a little bit easier. See, if you've worked in the industry or collaborated with any non-musical types, you'll know that stomach churning moment when Ian from accounting asks if you can make a track that combines the likes of 2012 Swedish House Mafia with the sounds of Denzel Curry, but can you make those hi-hats all unique fart sounds? What we could do to help ourselves is maybe tell our collaborators, listen, Type your ideas into Refusion, listen to the music, and when you find something you like, send it to me and I'll refine it. This might save us a lot of back and forths and needless edits over email. This next tool is by far my favorite in the entire list, and I wasn't sure whether to keep it in this category or move it to helpful. Either way, it's called Emergent Drums and it's made by Audiolab, and they claim to create infinite drum material, which is royalty free. The things I like about it is that you can generate a bunch of random samples. They're already mapped out to your MIDI keyboard, meaning I can just carry on drumming a pattern in as I'm generating new sounds. I can drop all of those sounds one by one or all together into my DAW or export them. And supposedly these are all randomized, completely royalty-free samples. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so it sounded good. We can generate all new drums by hitting this button here. I love this plugin. If you want to trim a sound, you can do. You have like your ADSR stuff over this way. You've got this crunch tool. And you've got your filters, high pass and low pass. The thing that I really like, which is speeding up my sample making process, is I can drop in a sample that I like. And based on that audio, I can choose whether it generates more similar sounds or further wildly different sounds. Over here, I've got a perk which featured in my video with Ghost Snort. I wanted something similar. So again, in varying degrees of randomness, these are the samples we get. Here's the original and here's the new sound. Original, new sound. Takes out all the legwork of designing your own samples, but it also makes you feel like you're part of the process. I've got an affiliate link in the description if you want to check it out. Over at the Patreon, I've generated a whole bunch of drum sounds from kicks to snares to perks that you can download. It's in the description below as always. All right, so we're into the helpful category, and I'm kicking things off with Sonable's Smart Limit, Smart EQ, Comp2 versus Neutron 4. All helpful. It just really depends on what tools you like to work with and which interface you like the most. But these tools use their algorithms to better listen to your music and help you make mixing decisions. I think Neutron 4 maybe has the edge, but most recently in my videos, I've been using Wave's Studioverse. It will listen to your music and very cleverly decide whether it's drums, electronic drums, female, male vocals, and then kind of make choices on that. The thing that I like the most is it gives you a range of devices that are in a rack already, and you can assign macros to that rack to kind of polish and edit it yourself and really make it your own. So I'm really digging that. Now don't go anywhere because I think I've got one more tool that might help you get paid. But first, another AI device that's going to help you master your music is DistroKid's Mixer. If you're at the final stages of your track creation, you're getting a little bit fatigued, you're a little bit rushed for time, throw your track into Mixer, follow the very brief instructions on screen, and you'll have a dynamically loud track that is ready for streaming services. If you want 7% off your first year, then just use the link in the description below. All right, with my last AI tool, I'm kind of throwing you a bone, but also asking you, lovely viewer, a question. Boomy. Have you heard about it? It's essentially this AI device where it generates music seemingly from scratch after you say what kind of genre, tempo information you want to throw in. Do you want vocals? Do you want to edit it at all? And then it will add you to Boomy's Spotify playlist along with a bunch of other tracks that have been created by Boomy. So apparently you can make about $100 a day from it, but if they're just talking about you featuring on the playlist, it only has like a few hundred likes. So I don't think that's really going to equate to you making enough of a passive income. Now, if you do want to join a playlist that has over 2,000 unique listeners, then just submit to the Lo-Fi Focus playlist. It's always going to remain free and it's always curated by me. So as long as I vibe with it, you're in. Easy peasy. But how do you feel about Boomy? Are you going to use it? Do you feel like this is kind of the start of the horror film where we're just feeding the beast? It's going to come back to bite us in the ass later on. How do you feel about AI? Is this the tip of the iceberg, or are things kind of petering petering out. I'd love to know what you think, as well as what you'd like to see in future episodes. Don't forget, there's a bunch of helpful tools over at the Patreon that are meticulously crafted without the use of AI by me. We got templates, downloads, projects, samples, you name it, even some bonus episodes. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. Until next time, bye-bye for now.